Welcome to the Van Hool windshield gasket sealing procedure, sponsored by ABC Companies. The following procedure will take approximately 1.5 hours to complete. Curing time for the sealant is dependent on ambient conditions, from 2 hours to overnight. Before we get started, let's review what we'll cover in this video. We'll start with safety information and preparations, including precautions and working around glass. Then we'll move on to the skill set required, special tools, equipment, and supplies you'll need. Finally, we'll go step by step through the procedure, which will cover separating gasket from coach body and windshields, blowing out all water present in and around the rubber gaskets, cleaning the gasket and glass surface around the perimeter, applying the correct Sika product, Sika Elastomer 714, to the necessary areas, waiting for the product to cure, and removal of the excess product. As always, safety comes first. Let's go through some steps that will help to ensure the personal safety when performing this procedure. Park the coach on a level surface with the front wheel straight. Apply the parking brake and shut down the engine. Switch off all systems. Turn off the battery master switch. Chock the wheels, and place a "Do Not Operate" sign on the instrument panel. When working around glass or using air tools, be sure to wear safety glasses. Always observe safe shop practices and keep your work area clean and orderly. It is very important that this work is performed by a technician skilled in body and trim repair. You'll need the following special tools, equipment, and supplies before starting: 2 tubes of Sika Elastomer 714 butyl-based sealant, a caulking gun, plastic windshield tool, air compressor and blowgun, rags, paint and rubber-safe cleaning solvent to clean and degrease the surfaces, and scaffolding. You'll want to refer to the Van Hool Parts Manual, online parts store, or contact an ABC parts specialist at 877-427-7278 to purchase the necessary supplies if you don't already have them. Let's get started. You may want to remove the wiper arms to make this procedure easier to accomplish. Use a plastic windshield tool and pick, if necessary, to carefully loosen the rubber gasket around the perimeter of the coach body. Also, loosen the rubber gasket around the perimeter of both windshields, including the center post. When detached, blow out the nearly created gaps with an air gun to remove water and other debris. It is very important that all water is removed using the blowgun. Concentrate the air from the center post gasket towards the outside corners. You may encounter old and loose polyurethane or silicone-based sealants between the gasket and sealing surfaces. If this is the case, it will be necessary to try and remove any of the loose sealant using your pick or blowgun. After separating and removing the water and loose material from between the gasket, you will need to clean the surface using a rubber-safe and quick-drying solvent. There are various brands on the market to choose from for this task. Please note that the Sika 714 does not require a specific cleaner or surface preparation solvent before application. However, it is important that the solvent being used will dry quickly and is not still wet when we move on to the sealing stage. It is helpful to use the plastic windshield tool to aid in the sliding the solvent-soaked cleaning rags between the surfaces to be sealed. You will know the surfaces are clean and ready when the rags have little remaining debris or discoloration present. Next, you will fill between the rubber and the coach body with Sika 714 along the top of the gasket and down both sides to seal out water that can run off the roof. Sika 714 will cure faster if it is hot, so it is preferable to stay in the shade or out of direct sunlight during this process. Pay attention to the top and bottom outside corners. It is not necessary to apply sealant along the entire length of the bottom gasket, and you will only need to focus on the outside corners to ensure sufficient sealant has been used. The Sika 714 must protrude from the rubber while it is being applied to make sure you have fully sealed the gap. Next, you will press the gasket against the coach body to push out any excess sealant and remove the irregularities that may be visible on the surface. After completing the outside perimeter, you will focus on sealing the gaps around the perimeter where the windshield sits inside the rubber gasket. Start by applying Sika 714 from corner to opposite corner, making sure there is Sika 714 protruding from the gaps as you fill it. Make sure the corners of the gasket get additional sealant forced as deep as possible to seal any internal gaps that may not be visible from the outside. Pay special attention when sealing the center post gasket to the windshield and apply additional sealant to the corners at the bottom and at the top of the center post. Next, you will press the gasket to push out any excess sealant here as well and remove the irregularities that may be visible on the surface. This butyl sealant requires at least 2 hours to cure. Once cured, you can carefully cut off the excess sealant using a knife to score it where it just comes out between the sealing surfaces, and peel it away from the body of the coach. If you allow the sealant to cure overnight, it will come off very easily the following day. Please do not attempt to clean off the sealant with solvent-based cleaners, as it will only get more tacky and harder to remove. The final step is to apply a small amount of Sika 714 to the small gap where the center post meets the perimeter gasket at the top and bottom. If you have excessively large gaps at the outside corners of the windshield gasket, it will be necessary to also fill those gaps with the Sika 714. You can use some soapy water on the surfaces of the fresh Sika 714 to smooth it over and make it look consistent. Reinstall the wiper arms if they have been previously removed. Torque the bolts according to the specifications in the maintenance manual for your model coach. Verify that your windshield gasket is now properly sealed by spraying water around the entire perimeter of the gasket, both on the inside where the glass is sealed and the outside where the body has been sealed. Make sure the vehicle is not running when you perform this test, and pay particular attention to the center post and the corners for any leaks. This sealing procedure is very important to perform anytime there is a replacement windshield installed or a suspected leak showing up under the dashboard. Due to the various manufacturers, tolerances of glass, and environmental conditions that vehicles are exposed to, it may be necessary to perform this task from time to time, and not just when a windshield has been replaced. The Sika 714 product should remain somewhat flexible and provide an improved seal between the various surfaces. Please contact ABC Customer Care at 877-427-7278 if you have any questions or concerns when performing this procedure.